Now at 6:30, Athens City Council is set to vote on raising sewer rates in the city. We have the latest on tonight's vote and how much your rates could be going up.
Plus,
shouting profanities about Jewish people, walking the streets right now with guns.
A neo-Nazi march in the streets of Columbus. We'll show you the video of the march grabbing national attention.
And in sports, Ohio men's basketball is continuing its long road trip. Newswatch starts right now. It is unreasonably warm outside for November, but that could change this week. Good evening, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Sullivan Beach. Welcome to Newswatch. Our weather forecaster Isabel Isco joins us tonight. Isabel, how much of a cool down can we expect this week?
We can expect a pretty good cool down. After today, it's hard to say that we're going to be expecting some snow later, but I'll be talking about that soon. Today, we're having that warm up that I was talking about. We had that 66 here in Athens for that warm up today. Currently, it is 58. We're starting to cool down for the rest of the night. But we're going to be seeing this from these past 24 hours, this cold front that made our way through. That was what made us a lot chillier for this weekend. But now that we're hitting today, in these next couple of days, we're having a little bit of this warm front making its way through, giving us some rain for these next couple of days. Then once we hit Thursday, that is whenever we're going to be starting to see that snow start to come in. Currently, as we head a little bit more north at that I-70 line, you might see a couple sprinkles here and there. But currently in Athens, there's a clearing before we hit this rain for the rest of the week and that snow that I was talking about for our Thursday. I'll be talking about that in my full forecast. Let's take it back over to Reese.
Thanks, Isabel. Athens City Council is set to vote on an ordinance that would raise sewer rates in the city.
Newswatch reporter Jack Green joins us live from outside City Hall. Jack, how much of an increase are we talking about here?
The city officials are looking to raise sewer rates in the city by about 3%. Now, this means if the ordinance passes tonight, residents can expect to see their sewer rates increase from $6 to $6.18. For commercial buildings,
commercial buildings will see their rates go up from $6.79 to $6.99. Rates for industrial buildings will increase from $7.49 to $7.71. City officials say these increases will help pay off upgrades made at the city's water treatment plant. It all depends on what type of building you own. Officials say they're considering increasing sewer rates by 3% in the city. Tonight's vote is one of many ordinances impacting Athens residences, so be sure to head to our website, WOUB.org, for the latest and tune in tomorrow for a full breakdown of tonight's meeting. Reporting live, thank you, Jack Green. Southeast Ohio is looking at millions of dollars in grant funding for water infrastructure projects. Governor Mike DeWine announced over $16 million to increase access to clean drinking water and improve water infrastructure across the state. The money comes from H2 Ohio, an initiative to address issues with Ohio's water. Gallia County will be getting $1 million to replace a water line in Gallipolis, and Meigs County will receive $675,000 for a water treatment from Meigs County landfill. This is the sixth round of funding to improve water infrastructure. State House leaders in Ohio are getting ready for a closed-door voting. In a last-minute move today, Ohio House Speaker Jason Stephens is removing himself from the possibility of re-election. This comes as a surprise to many, as Stephens said in September he was seeking re-election for a new term starting in January. Stephens was likely going up against Senate President Matt Huffman. They were the two front-runners for the seat. Huffman's critics are now hoping Stephens backs a new candidate. Republicans will meet behind closed doors on Wednesday to take an unofficial vote on their next House Speaker. Ohio House of Representatives look at a bipartisan bill that would increase assistance for disabled adults with divorced parents. The proposal would extend child support payments for parents and guardians of adult children with disabilities who cannot live on their own. Similar bills have been passed on this issue, but the bill focuses specifically on children of divorce after they turn 18. The bill awaits approval by the House Civil Justice Committee.
In Scottsdale County, a grand jury returned a 3-count indictment of Juliana Wilson for murder and aggravated murder. Investigators say the 47-year-old from Port Smith allegedly shot and killed her husband. Wilson is charged in the shooting death of her husband, 46-year-old Anthony Wilson. Authorities responded to an incident around 6:20 p.m. on October 16th. The shooting suspected to have escalated from a domestic incident. Wilson remains in Scottsdale County Jail. Ohio officials are denouncing a small group of neo-Nazis who paraded through a Columbus neighborhood on Saturday afternoon. Around a dozen people with masks covering their faces took part, carrying 3 flags bearing swastikas. At least one person yelled a racist slur repeatedly. A TikTok user posted a video of the march and described what she saw. Some viewers may find it disturbing.
I'm in Short North, downtown Columbus right now, and there are literally Nazis shouting the N-word, shouting profanities about Jewish people, walking the streets right now with guns and a megaphone.
No arrests were made, but police briefly detained some marchers. The mayor of Columbus condemned what he called a cowardly display. And Governor Mike DeWine said there is no place in this state for hate, bigotry, anti-Semitism, or violence. Columbus community leaders organized a unity march yesterday in response.
Since the legalization of sports betting in Ohio 2 years ago, cases of gambling addiction are going up. And to battle those numbers, the Ohio Gambling Telehealth Network launched a free virtual counseling option for residents. A new telehealth service could more easily connect those affected with help. But these services aren't just for those struggling with addiction. They're also for loved ones to talk with someone about resources. You can call or text the number on your screen for help with a gambling addiction. Officials say last week's deadly factory explosion in Louisville, Kentucky was caused by a failed cooking vessel. Today, the ATF says the explosion was an accident and there was no evidence to suggest anyone intentionally caused it. They also said there was no ongoing threat to the public. Investigators conducted over 100 interviews and looked at internal surveillance video leading up to the explosion. The ATF says the cooking vessel failure was likely an issue with overpressurization. 2 people were killed in the explosion. 39 people infected, 15 hospitalized, and 1 dead after reports of an E. coli outbreak in 18 states, including Ohio. The infection is linked to Grimway Farms organic whole and baby carrots. The recalled organic baby carrots have best buy dates ranging from September 11th through November 11th, according to the FDA. Symptoms of E. coli include severe stomach cramps, diarrhea, and vomiting. People with severe symptoms should seek medical attention immediately. Coming up, millions are expected to hit the road in time for Thanksgiving. How can you avoid Turkey Day traffic?
And Ford is recalling 2 of its models. Find out if you need to make the trip to the dealership and if more vehicles will be recalled.
This warm-up is going to continue until we get some snow this week, next on Newswatch.
He shows us something between what you see and what you don't see.
This is the story of the most curious man in history.
The influence of Leonardo's vision was enormous.
He's doing things no one had ever done before. And that is simply astounding.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
It's such a magical place.
The abundance of life, absolutely extraordinary. And then it hit me. The world has to see this. Seeing the lions back on the beach. How are they going to survive?
In my lifetime, I get to be the first of something that could change people's lives.
The treasure was hidden in a special place. We are very lucky.
Wednesday on WOUB.
Did you know that you can donate property to WOUB Public Media? I'm WOUB Community Engagement and Membership Manager Sherry Russo. Donating property is a great way to support WOUB, and you may even claim a significant tax deduction. Properties in any location, condition, and format are eligible for donation to WOUB. Back taxes, mortgage balances, and deferred maintenance do not prohibit your ability to donate. Our program covers all loans, liens, commissions, and closing costs, so long as there is equity in the property. If you have a land, residential, or commercial real estate asset that's unused or costing you money, consider giving back to the station you love by donating it to WOUB. And the process is easy. Go to WOUB.org and click the Support tab to learn about property donations, along with many other ways to support WOUB.
It's the holiday season and people are hitting the road to make it home in time for Turkey Day. Officials say nearly 80 million people are expected to travel this Thanksgiving, and most people will be driving to their holiday destination. Experts say Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon are the worst times to travel by car. The best time to hit the road is Thanksgiving Day, when interstates and highways are typically clear.
The first time we're looking at a 7-day travel window, starting on Tuesday before Thanksgiving and ending that Monday. And we're projecting nearly 80 million people are going to be traveling domestically during that time. This is going to be a new record.
Busy terminals. Airports are also expecting to set a new record, up more than 2% from last year. Now I'm joined with Newswatch forecaster Isabel Isco. Isabel, there's going to be a lot of people hitting the road, and they need to make sure they are prepared. What's the weather going to look like for those people that are going to be traveling for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I know some of that travel does start this weekend. We're looking like we're going to have some snow Thursday, but looking into the weekend, it is going to start to get that rain to start to slow down. But currently, we can't get all the way to Thanksgiving yet. It is looking like it's going to be having some drizzles here and there, so definitely stick back with us to see just how much of that rain we're going to be having for our Thanksgiving. But currently, for this week, we're having 58 degrees for our temperature currently. 58. We've been seeing this warm up from these last couple of days, and we're having a little bit of this clearing before we get hit with this rain that is going to continue for these next couple weeks. Currently on that local radar, as we head more north, we will be seeing a couple sprinkles here and there along that I-70 line, and as we get closer to the Ironton-Huntington area, might have a couple sprinkles here and there. But other than that, it has been a pretty cloudy day out there and pretty warm. This warm up has been infecting us pretty much all day and is going to continue into tomorrow. Athens currently 58. Lancaster 57 as we head towards Columbus and Newark in those 60s still. Tonight we'll be cooling down to the overnight low of 48, mostly cloudy skies before we get hit with that rain. We've been seeing this cold front that made it a lot chillier for this weekend. Then we're having this warm front moving its way in, bringing us this low pressure system, giving us some rain, and it's pretty much going to be staying over our area for a good amount of time. We're going to be seeing that 12 hours ahead. Still not getting hit with that rain quite yet, but it is going to be keeping us pretty warm, and we won't have that rain for our morning commute. But once we hit this evening, about this time tomorrow, we're going to be hit with that rain. We're looking at about 1/4 of an inch of rain for tomorrow. You're going to need that umbrella from about that noon to 5 o'clock hour, and then we're going to be seeing after tomorrow this cold front starting to make its way through. So tomorrow, very similar temperatures to today. That temperature high of 64 in the low 48, 90% chance of showers, like I was saying, for that afternoon. You're going to need that umbrella. Once we're looking at our Wednesday, this cold front is going to be making its way in once we hit Wednesday night. Wednesday morning, we're going to have a couple showers here and there. Still keep that umbrella for your Wednesday morning. Once we hit Wednesday night, that's whenever temperatures are going to cool down and stay pretty cold for pretty much the rest of the week. Looking at our temperatures, Thursday, we're having that chance of snow. That is going to be pretty much that consistent chance of snow. Currently, we're looking at about that noon hour until Thursday into Friday morning for snow. So definitely stick back with us for just about how much snow. Currently looking at about 1/4 of an inch. It won't be sticking around very much. We're not going to be getting too cold that'll be accumulating on those grounds. Just having a flurry here and there. So enjoy these next couple of days with some of those temperatures still in those 60s. We're going to be still in the 60s for Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to be seeing that temperature low of 28. That is our coldest on there. And then after that, Friday, Saturday, still having that a little bit of a chance of showers. And once we're hitting this time next week, we're still going to have that chance of showers, and our temperatures a lot closer to those more average temperatures. We're having these next couple of days, like I said, enjoy having those 60-degree temperatures, because once we hit this weekend, we're going to be seeing very, very consistent average temperatures for here in fall. Let's take it back over to Sully.
Thanks, Isabel. The latest data shows inflation ticked up slightly last month. The higher prices come just as Americans get ready to celebrate Thanksgiving. So how is inflation impacting your grocery bill? Jen Sullivan has more.
Hosting Thanksgiving this year may gobble up your wallet. Shoppers are expecting to spend an average of about $431 this year. That's up 19% from last year, according to LendingTree.
19% is a big jump.
Matt Schultz with LendingTree says inflation is a big concern for consumers. A recent LendingTree survey found 27% of shoppers say they'll change food choices because of high prices.
Anybody who is going into this Thanksgiving season expecting that they're going to be able to get a little more bang for their buck this year than they did last year is going to be pretty disappointed.
The latest consumer price index shows inflation ticked up to 2.6% in October from last year, with housing-related inflation accounting for half.
This was about what people expected. It shows that inflation is not where it was a couple of years ago.
So, how will all of this affect your grocery bill this Thanksgiving? Finance Buzz looked at Butterball brand turkey prices across the country earlier this year and found a 15-pound turkey, which serves about 10 people, will cost an average of around $31. That's down 12% from last year. Other items that have dropped in price, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, potatoes and white bread. Here's what will cost you more: milk, butter, and cheese.
Making Thanksgiving a potluck is such a great way to control costs. If you're hosting Thanksgiving, it's already enough of a production just with all the work that you have to put in.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The Biden administration is urging Congress to quickly pass a massive disaster relief spending bill. Nearly half of the roughly $100 billion requested will go to FEMA's Disaster Relief Fund. The bill also includes funding for other agencies, including the Departments of Agriculture, Transportation, and the Small Business Administration. The request comes as Americans in the Southeast are still cleaning up from major back-to-back hurricanes Helene and Milton. Congressional leadership must now decide whether to make the request a standalone bill or package it with the end of the year spending bill.
If you own a Ford, you may need to take a trip to the dealership. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating 2 Ford recalls for the Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator models manufactured between 2018 and 2020. One investigation involves seat belts. The other is over a sudden loss of power. The investigation continues as they look into whether more vehicles should be added to the recall. The NHTSA announced Ford will pay a $165 million civil penalty because they failed to recall vehicles in a timely manner. Spirit Airlines files for bankruptcy protection as they face $3.1 billion in long-term debt. However, the airline says guests can continue to book and fly as normal. Because of the filing, the company expects its common stock to be canceled and have no value. It's possible Spirit can overcome bankruptcy and emerge as a stronger company. But there's also a chance of being bought by another airline or forced to liquidate. Some Cash App users have less than a day to get money from a $15 million settlement. That settlement came as part of a class action lawsuit filed after a data breach at the mobile payment service in 2021. To qualify, customers have to have unauthorized withdrawals or transfers from their accounts between August 23, 2018 and August 20th of this year. If you meet that criteria, you can submit a claim for up to $2,500. The deadline is tomorrow at 2 a.m. Eastern Time.
Next in sports, Ohio men's basketball fell over the weekend and is preparing to continue a long road trip. Stay tuned for the recap of Bobcats game against Memphis, plus a preview of Ohio's upcoming road trip.
on Masterpiece.
Margaret Schlegel monopolising my father. She always meant to get her hands on Howard's End.
You too feel lonely.
Horribly.
I've had you here on false pretenses. I am asking you to be my wife.
I won't ask for charity.
But this isn't charity.
Dear Miss Schlegel, my circumstances have taken a turn.
Mr. Best, you don't pretend your marriage has been a happy one. Howard's End on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
Sherlock Holmes is the world's most famous detective. But why didn't his creator, Arthur Conan Doyle, love him as much as the rest of us do? In this series, I'm tracking down clues and evaluating the evidence to discover where creator and creation diverged. I'm hoping to open a little window into Arthur's mind.
Craving adventure? Passport is your ticket to the hottest destinations in drama. Check into luxurious hotels. Hit exclusive beaches. But fair warning, travel plans can sometimes get complicated. If you've got the itch for drama, travel the world and stream now with Passport on the PBS app.
Cyril, it's snowing.
Will you just look at that?
We are planning something rather special.
Lights, music.
There's such a lot for you to see.
Have you ever had that feeling? You're exactly where you belong.
Stream classic Call the Midwife specials with PBS Passport, leading up to an all-new holiday special on Christmas Day.
Good evening and welcome to sports. I'm Joshua Jacob. Just hours ago, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine issued an executive order allowing college athletes to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness. However, they cannot get paid through state funds. NIL is going through settlement case in the U.S. District Court. If the settlement is approved, it is set to reshape college athletics by allowing higher education institutions to provide direct compensations to their athletes. DeWine's orders will be in place until the settlement is finalized in April. On Friday, the Ohio men's basketball team picked up another loss against the undefeated Memphis Tigers. The Bobcats continued their road trip after losing to Illinois State's Redbirds, but did not favor much better, falling to the Tigers 94-70. A.J. Sheldon led the team in scoring with 20 points and 6 made threes, and the Bobcats also got a strong performance from A.J. Brown, who totaled 19 points on the night. The offense did its job, however. Ohio's defense struggled, allowing Memphis to shoot 72% from three. After back-to-back losses on the road, the Bobcats continue to play away from Athens later this week. Ohio begins in Myrtle Beach Invitational on Thursday and will play a total of 3 games beginning with Middle Tennessee. The Bobcats will finally return home on November 30th for a game against Robert Morris. The Ohio volleyball season ended in heartbreak after just missing out in the MAC tournament. Number 1 seed Bowling Green hosted the Bobcats on Friday, and the Falcons beating Ohio 3-0. The Falcons completed the sweep on Saturday with a highly contested 3-2 victory. Olivia Gardner totaled her career high with 13 kills, and Anya Karczynski set a season high with 9 digs. Ultimately, Lauren Hovey secured the win for Bowling Green with a kill, sending Ohio home. With Ohio losing to Bowling Green, they still had a chance to make the MAC tournament, but did not get the required help. Buffalo clinched the 5th seed with wins over Eastern Michigan. Toledo swept Kent State and jumped over the Bobcats because of the head-to-head tiebreaker. Bringing it back to the Convocation Center, the Ohio women's basketball team got their first win of the season against George Washington Revolutionaries. On Saturday, the 52-40 victory was paved by Ohio's defense. They forced 19 turnovers and shut down one of George Washington's lead scorer, Gabby Reynolds. She could not score from the court, only getting 3 points from free throws. Kate Dennis led the Bobcats, scoring 15 points and setting a new career high. Bailey Tabling also played a crucial role, breaking her career high with 9 rebounds as well, while scoring 12 points. Head coach Bob Bolden talked about how this win will prepare Ohio for Wednesday's tough matchup against number 12 Ohio State.
Ohio State's probably more talented, so defensively you're going to have to play things a little bit differently than we did today. But you know, it's all part of that process. It's all part of the November process, and it's all good. And it's something that I know our coaching staff's looking forward to it, and I'm sure our players are as well. Spartans
for their first home meet of the season. Michigan State picked up some steam early to secure big points on the Bobcats' lighter weights. Logan Kravitas and Peyton Keller both earned much-needed points for Ohio. However, the Spartans' lead was too strong and they clinched the win before finishing all bouts. The Bobcats head to Maryland looking to bounce back at the Navy Classic on Saturday. Their next home meet will be against Gardner-Webb on Sunday, December 22nd. Let's take it back to Reese and Sully.
Still ahead, a new study shows almost 20% of Americans get their news from social media. Why experts think this could spread misinformation.
This year, Gridiron is back and better than ever with our 25th season. I'm your host, Haley Hollinger.
And I'm your digital host, Donovan Varney. Throughout the week, make sure to tune into our Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube for game preview segments on the pregame huddle. If you still can't get enough high school football, check out our Instagram and TikTok for more weekly content.
And of course, we'll see you right here every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. because there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
In the beginning, there have always been those of us looking for stories.
This is a huge moment.
I feel like there's nothing around that can stop me.
It's your being, it's who you are.
We need to do something to make a change.
I know that there are people like me out there.
We need to have a voice.
It's what you do next that matters.
You start to discover a deeper part of yourself.
My whole world changed instantly.
A new study suggests nearly a fifth of Americans get their news from social media influencers. Most of the people in this study make out to be under the age of 30. Experts say this type of news consumption is problematic because it makes information easier to spread. Most established media brands have strict editorial standards and employ trained journalists, which makes them less likely to distribute misinformation. The biggest social media platform used for news is X, formerly known as Twitter, following up with Instagram, then YouTube. Now, we said earlier that it is still oddly warmer for November right now, but I've heard those temperatures are about to get a lot colder. Is that true, Isabel?
It is looking like it. Currently, we're having those temperatures that are well above average, but after these next couple of days, we're going to cool down and hopefully stay there. It is currently looking like we're going to get about back to average and have some snow in there actually on our Thursday. So tonight, that overnight low of 50, well above average, mostly cloudy skies. Then once we hit tomorrow, that's when some of that rain is going to be making its way through for our afternoon. You won't need that umbrella for your morning commute, but you will need it for later in the day, about that noon to 5 hour. Have that umbrella handy, and then after that, we're going to get some cooler temperatures looking at our Wednesday and beyond. Once we hit Wednesday night, that's whenever our temperatures are going to get back into freezing temperatures, that low on Wednesday of 32. And then Thursday, 70% chance of rain-snow mix. That'll be hitting pretty much all day, looking like after that noon hour. And we're going to be continuing with those cooler temperatures.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Jack Green, Joshua Jacob, and Isabel Isco, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Sullivan Beach. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.